listen carefully.
What's going on?
I'm going to start off with asking you.
Do you know a girl called Katie Leonard? Yeah? Describe each other as friends then. Is she dead then?
Why would you ask her?
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the Netflix limited series, Adolescence. The series is directed by Philip Barantini, and it stars Stephen Graham, who also, I think, co-wrote it and produced it. We have Owen Cooper, we have Ashley Walters, Faye Marisay, Christine Tremarco, and Amelia Pease. Right, the film focuses on the Miller family. The very first episode, the first thing you see is the police raiding their house. You've got the father, played by Stephen Graham, you've got the mother, you've got the teenage daughter, and you've got the young boy, Jamie. And the police are there for Jamie. They arrest him, they all head off to the police station, and he basically is questioned for the murder of a young girl, one of his schoolmates. The series then kind of doesn't present a case of he's guilty or he's innocent, makes it very, very clear that he is guilty. And then the 4 episodes, if you like, focus on different areas, different perspectives of the same story. So the first episode, as I've said, it focuses on this family and the events at the police station. And a big chunk of that is him being interviewed by the police, with Stephen Graham in there as his appropriate adult. The second episode focuses on the school where Jamie went, and the police officers go to the school to kind of talk to everyone in the school, all the different classes, catch up with anybody that might have any information, so on and so forth. The third episode is just this young actor, Owen Cooper, who plays Jamie, essentially being interviewed by a psychologist for the courts. And that's really that episode. And then the final episode, 4th episode, again focuses on the Miller family. It's set some months later, and they are trying to cope with what's happened, get on with their lives. However, the prejudice of their neighbours and neighbourhood won't allow them to do that. And a big major point that I need to mention is each episode is filmed in just one take, which is, when you actually think about some of the performances that you're witnessing here and some of the technical stuff that's going on, is a remarkable achievement in itself. Right, so what are my thoughts on Adolescence? Well, I mean, I'm a bit late to this party. I know when this came out a few weeks ago on Netflix, I mean, it was literally everywhere. You know, everyone were talking about it. Everyone was really shocked and impacted by it. So it was something I knew I always wanted to watch, but I also recognise that you've got to kind of be in the right frame of mind to watch something like this, because they can be quite impactful. So obviously I have checked it out now, all 4 episodes. We watched 2 episodes one night, 2 episodes the second night, me and my wife. Wow, yeah. This is heavy stuff. It is remarkable in so many ways. Now, Stephen Graham, obviously, I think to say he's a good actor is an understatement. He has developed into, he's almost national treasure status now. Obviously, he is the Hollywood actor. He's doing brilliantly there, doing all the brilliant stuff he does there. But he obviously never forgets his roots. And, you know, this is obviously a project very close to his heart. You know, he felt like he had to do this after, you know, certainly in the UK, and it's probably the same most places, that, you know, there's a lot of knife crime with teenagers in schools or outside schools or whatever. And, you know, he felt like he had something to say on the subject, and this is the result of it. So, I mean, obviously, you've got to champion that in regards to Stephen Graham, brilliant at thought to do this and make it so impactful. But his performance is just on another level. I mean, it's just stunning. And you only see him in 2 of the episodes. The first one and the final one. You don't see him in any other episode. I'm just trying to think now. No, you don't. But it's a remarkable performance by Stephen Graham. It really, really is. And then we come to Owen Cooper that plays his son Jamie, the lad who is who is alleged to have killed this teenager. Wow. Now, my understanding is this is his first acting gig. Wow, what a start he has got. Now, it's very difficult sometimes to critique like young actors because you don't want to like overly critique them and stuff. But when you see a performance from a young actor as good as this, it's hard not to kind of sing it from the rooftops because he is so good in this. And the cherry on top for me was the 3rd episode where it was just him in a room with the psychiatrist interviewing him. Now, that might not sound interesting to you, but trust me, if you're engaged in these characters, you will find it absolutely fascinating. This young man with so much rage, and you feel like grabbing him and shaking him many, many times in that episode. And the real sense of fear that this psychiatrist or psychologist is made to feel because of this young boy. So it was an outstanding performance by him. But make no mistake, everybody here is on their absolute A game. Christine Tremarco, who plays Stephen Graham's wife in this, Miranda, I believe she's called. Remarkable performance by her. The teenage daughter, played by Amelia Peace, Lisa. Great performance by her, very understated. A lot of these actors will, all the plaudits here will go to Stephen Graham and Owen Cooper, and so they should. But I do definitely want to point out that everybody here is on their A game. And that's not just in front of the camera, it's behind the camera, because like I say, everything that you watch in each episode is just one take. And when you're watching that, you have to keep reminding yourself of that when you're watching it, because it adds another element of expertise to this drama, to this television program that you're watching. And I think Netflix gets a lot of criticism for some of the stuff they put out. Fair enough. I mean, it's not all going to be A plus, is it? Their content. But they do also deliver some absolutely outstanding stuff, and this is amongst their best. It's not easy to watch, especially if you've got children. Even if you haven't got children, it's not really easy to watch this one. But I've got a son. He's 19 now, but it wasn't that long ago when he was the same age as this boy in this. And what I love about this is there's no rhyme or reason for it. The parents, as we see in the 4th episode, are constantly questioning themselves as to what did we do wrong, sort of thing. And they didn't really do anything wrong. They're going to torture themselves for the rest of their lives about, where they went wrong as parents, but they didn't. They did nothing wrong. They were a good family. They were a close family. And there was no rhyme or reason for it. And that's what another thing about this brilliant show is the fact that each episode, like I say, focused on different perspectives. The first one is like the police procedure part of it. The second one is the school, how it can affect that. The third one is, like I say, the boy being interviewed. But for me, and I think a lot of people are missing the point on the 4th episode, because I've heard a few people say, it was really good apart from the 4th one. I weren't so keen on that. And I'm kind of like, what? What I loved about the 4th episode is you had this family who is crushed and crumbled and torn to pieces, trying desperately to move on with their lives, but not being allowed to. Trying to have some kind of normalization in their life, but not being allowed to. Everything in their life points towards this act that their son has done in regards to graffiti on the car, going to the local DIY store, being interrogated by people there about what's gone on, and it's never going to leave them. And they're too proud to move because they don't feel it's the right thing to do to move, because it's just going to be worse in their minds. So I love the fact that, it just kind of shone the light on not so much the act, because it didn't show the act in regards to this girl getting hurt. It just showed like some brief CCTV footage of it. It's more the impact that this act has on different people's lives, the ripple effects of these terrible, awful crimes, knife crimes that are committed, and how so many people's lives are dramatically changed as a result of it. And that's the real message here in this show, and I thought it told that absolutely superbly. So, I mean, this is top-notch TV, this one, guys. If you haven't seen Adolescence yet, definitely strongly recommend it. Yeah, and let me know your thoughts if you have seen it, and I will of course be back with plenty more content on the channel very, very soon.